Hello and welcome to the Tower of London for tonight's very special performance of About Us, a spectacular show taking us through 13.8 billion years of history as part of Unboxed Creativity in the UK. I'm Ellie Sillywood, and tonight I'm going to be your master of ceremonies, and what a ceremony it is set to be. Now, have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered how you're connected to them? Well, tonight's show takes that question and runs with it. It's a spectacular celebrations of our connections to the universe and to everyone and everything in it, from the Big Bang to the present day, out into the cosmos and into the future. The show has been seen by communities all across the UK in all 4 nations. It's visited historic locations and been projected onto landmark buildings like Paisley Abbey, Guildhall Square in Derry, Londonderry, Emaes in Carnarvon, Luton Town Hall and Queen Victoria Square in Hull. And tonight, we are here at the iconic Tower of London, where crowds are gathering for this very first performance of many this evening, which is going to begin in around 30 minutes from now. Now, since it was founded in 1066, the Tower of London has been all sorts of things. It's been an armoury, it's been a zoo, it's been the home of the Royal Mint, and of course, the home of the Crown Jewels. But tonight, it is a stage. And what a spectacular stage for an equally spectacular show. I cannot think of a better place for this to finish this evening after it has toured the entirety of the UK. And as I said, the crowds are gathering. There is a wonderful feeling in the air, everybody coming together for a show that is at its core about togetherness. Now, this is free to attend, so if tonight you watch it and you love it, get yourself down here. It doesn't matter that it's cold, everybody here is wrapped up warm and you're all welcome. So like I said, if you loved it, there are more performances tonight and tomorrow. But please do note that this show does contain a lot of flashing lights. That is, it is a light projected show. It will be all the way through. So if that's something you need to think about, please do take note. A lot of flashing lights. Now, the show that we are all here gathering to watch and will be live streamed around the world is a combination of cutting edge light projection and of animation, music and poetry. The show also features an original score by the award-winning composer Nitin Sawhney. It's going to be performed by a live choir, and it includes words from a UK-wide schools competition in coding and poetry. Behind me, you can see the choir getting ready for tonight. It's made of 30 community singers and young professionals from right across the UK, bringing together musicians from all 5 of the previous locations that got to see this show. And tonight, we'll be hearing a little bit more from the members of that choir, but that's later on. Now, About Us is created by 3 incredible UK-based partners coming together across science, technology, engineering, the arts and mathematics. 59 Productions is one of the creative and technological forces behind the 2012 London Olympics opening ceremony. The STEMettes is an award-winning social enterprise that works with women and non-binary people to see them form the next generation of people working in the science, technology, engineering and mathematics industries. And lastly, the Poetry Society provides inspiring educational and creative programmes for children and adults across the UK. The show itself is part of Unboxed Creativity in the UK, and it was just one of the 10 awe-inspiring commissions that have been enjoyed by millions in more than 100 locations across the UK and online this year. In March, About Us launched the Unboxed live programme in Paisley and then toured to Derry, Londonderry, to Carnarvon, Luton and Hull. In each location, historic buildings like this one played host to a story that celebrates the infinite ways we are connected to the cosmos, to the natural world and to each other. The version of the show that we're all here to watch tonight at the Tower of London will bring together content created with and by people from the show's previous locations. And sadly, it marks the end of a year of awe-inspiring creations as part of Unboxed creativity in the UK. But before we hear a little bit more from the crowd and some of the brilliant creatives and participants who made About Us possible, here's a little bit more about Unboxed and About Us.
Unboxed is a celebration of creativity throughout the UK, and it's really exciting to be kicking off the festival in 2022. Creating the project during a pandemic has been really hard, and so when we were sort of talking about what this should be, it was always meant to be a celebration, something that was outside, something that brought people and communities back together again after being so isolated for so long. I think everybody needs it. We open in Paisley, we then move to Derry, then to Carnarvon, to Luton, and then we finish in Hull.
We always wanted this to take place in a public space, like a town square or a high street, and totally transform it into something extraordinary, so that we would take these experiences to people, and that people would then remember that space as that extraordinary thing that happened there in that moment.
So the story we're telling is the same all 5 of the locations, but the canvases that we have to tell it on are very different. So in Paisley we have an abbey, which is a single building and it's big and monumental, but in Luton we're in a very different context, so we're telling the story across their whole high street, and that means that we have to configure things radically differently in the technical system. And so it's more like touring a kit of parts to do the touring show. We bring together a core system, we configure it, and then we take it round to the different towns and deploying it in different ways.
We're a week and a half away from opening About Us in Paisley, and we're programming the show in our studio in London.
The Town Hall P5's on as well. What we're using here today is a lighting visualization package, which enables us to take the scan of the building that's being projected onto and control the lighting, so it enables us to get ahead quite significantly on being on site next week.
We're at stage 1, the fabricator company for all our wonderful plinths. One of the things we're doing is making sure that all of the LED panels fit into our plinths perfectly, and then also to test some of our video content, making sure everything's smooth before we go on site.
Sustainability was a very important key aspect of designing this plinth, and we chose the cladding from Smile Plastics, a UK-based company that recycles PET bottles from the ocean. It has a slight translucency and it glows like skin, and we wanted to bring human qualities to this plinth design.
We keep coming back to the human form because this is a story about us, that we are within all of these ideas. It's that core message that we're trying to get across.
Community engagement's at the heart of the whole project. So we've been working for about 6 months now in each of the locations that the show is touring to, working with schools, with local residents and organisations, and just building that sense of creativity in science into everything we've been doing. And all of the results of those workshops are being showcased on the plinths that we have at the show here.
The community engagement part of this project has been really important to us, and that's where our partners on the project have really come into their own. We're working with the Poetry Society and also the STEMettes.
So we've got poetry from young people in schools and in community organisations that have been filmed and are reading their poems to anyone that's passing by when they come and see the show. We've got animations which have been made on a programme called Scratch, which is really teaching young people how to code and how to sort of think logically about that coding process, and then their animations are shown here as well. We've also got living portraits, which, as part of the community work that we were doing, we set up studios in pop-up locations across each of the 5 locations, and those portraits are now a slow-motion video, which are being featured as part of the daytime show and also in the evening as well. And it really makes about us, about the location that we're performing it in. So it's about Paisley, it's about Carnarvon, it's about Luton, it's about Hull, and it's about Derry. It's like, I really hope I remember all of them.
Music is absolutely at the heart of this project. I was really keen that the music would lay the foundation that the rest of the project would follow.
I think human voices are so incredibly powerful and empathic, and I think to actually take something which feels intrinsically quite abstract and to humanize it so that everyone can feel something and can really relate to what's going on, I think is really important. And I think that's why the choral aspect of this is so powerful and valuable. There are quite a few challenging moments, because to get across the complexity of creation, of evolution, of the Big Bang, I drew on even in classical techniques to bring in some cross-rhythmic aspects so that we could actually have ways of listening to ideas that are hugely complex, but at the same time feels musical and interesting.
And reaching up. What Nitin has done is he's given us just the right amount of beauty and simplicity and sort of rhythmic and technical challenge. That it's not an easy win for us, but I think when something isn't 100% an easy win, we work harder at it.
Absolutely loved it. I love to sing, and we haven't been singing for a couple of years like everybody else, so it's just an amazing experience to come back together and to be part of something and to feel the connection.
Lights go on now.
And I just fell in love with it, with all the harmonies and the sort of like spicy chords and just all the wee clashes, and it was lovely.
By using these movements and the lights and just all the instruction from Osnat, it's going to add so much, and I actually find you're getting more into the meaning of the music.
So pretty.
Welcome back to About Us live here at the Tower of London, where, as you can see, all of us are getting ready for showtime. If you've just joined us, you've made it just in time, don't worry. You are tuning in to About Us, a spectacular light and sound show that is set to be projected onto the Tower of London. And it's a project from the STEMettes, the Poetry Society and 59 Productions as part of UNBOXED Creativity in the UK. Now, as I said, everybody here is getting ready. I've grabbed some Crown members to have a chat to, so tell us.
Hi, my name's Jasmine, I'm from London.
Tell me, what are you looking forward to the most about tonight?
Well, I'm always on the lookout for like cultural art exhibitions in my city, and yeah, this one time out, so I thought to come check it out. And it's going to be really high tech, I think, like many hours going into coding, so I'm going to appreciate it and appreciate London's history.
And of course, as you said, this is an arts and cultural project, but it's also a science-based project. It is, culture as well. So how do you feel about bringing them together?
I think it's really great as well that it's free, and yeah, bringing it together so it's accessible to all, and people from all backgrounds can appreciate that. And those like those hours put in and the hard work put into it.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, another crowd member here. Hello. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name's Simon. I'm from London as well. And basically very similar. We are constantly looking at Facebook and time out for events that are going on in London. And as London is the centre of the universe, it's just great to see like these events that combine, as you said earlier, the music, the technology, and just brings people together. And I think it's really important that you get crowds together that can actually coexist in a friendly manner, and everyone's really looking forward to the same pleasure from the same. So you'll find a common denominator that actually produces the right reaction in people, which is great. That's very powerful stuff.
I feel like these people should have been on camera rather than me. This is all so beautifully said. And lastly, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Fabio from Brazil. I'm living here in London for 2 months now. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here with the family and spend some time together. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, glad that you're all here. And as you heard, the show is getting ready to start. We've also got Choir getting ready, and we sent out our young investigator to tell us a little bit more about behind the scenes of this incredible performance.
Hi, I'm Prit and I'm an Unboxed Young Ambassador, and I'm here today with members of the About Us Choir, which brings together community members and young professionals from choirs across the UK. So, would you like to start by introducing yourselves?
My name's Hilary and I'm from Luton Big Hot Hat Factory Choir.
I'm Jason and I'm from Derry, who is a member of the Codetta Choir in Derry as well.
Hi, I'm Helen, also from Derry, Northern Ireland, and I sing with Codetta.
Great. And what has your experience been like so far?
Well, for me, who's not a professional singer, it's been an absolutely amazing opportunity to be with people who from Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, Hull and Luton, to join together and produce this amazing sound with the fantastic lights show behind. It gives you such a really amazing feeling to be part of it. It's very exciting.
It's a brilliant experience as well to be a part of this production and getting to know the other people and the other, learn about their culture and their ways as well while being here, and we're learning about each other, and it's just brilliant to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here, lovely to be in London as well, soaking up a bit of the vibe and the atmosphere and getting to sing at such an amazing location.
So you mentioned you've met people from across the country. Have you been singing in different languages as part of the choir?
Yes, we had to learn some Welsh, which was a little bit of a challenge, but it's been, again, another amazing experience because you feel like you're representing every nation, and that's really important to feel like united, but also come with all the bits that you come with, which is what singing is all about. You bring different levels, and then you make this sound that is together sound, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, having the singing, learning Welsh as well, it's brilliant because it's so inclusive, the production, and it's good seeing other people being brought onto it, and just brilliant to be a part of.
Yeah, singing in Welsh was a bit of a challenge, but we think we're getting there, and yeah, it's been wonderful.
And what's it been like singing live with all the lights and everything, seeing the crowds in front of you?
Well, you do feel a bit nervous, but when you see the crowds and they start clapping you, and you feel part of this light that goes right up into the sky, it's quite, well, I can't explain it, but it's very uplifting, really uplifting.
Yeah, it's great. They have, because when you're looking out in the crowd as well, they have their own torches on their phones as well, doing it back with you.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that they're communicating and they're getting the good vibes as well from it.
Yeah, last night in particular was a lovely, clear night. There was a great crowd, and so we got a bit of feeling back from the crowd that they were really engaged in the performance, which was lovely.
And what's it been like starting the process from kind of rehearsing in your locations and then all coming together? Has it been quite tough or challenging in any way?
Well, we've got some muscle memory from learning in our own towns that we did it with, but it was nice to come together to produce a different, slightly different, but also a little bit of a newer version, and that's quite, we had to learn because we hadn't sung together at all, and that's quite a feat for Osnat, who's our choir leader, to bring us all together, to make us united, and then for us to produce a sound that matches each other, which is it's a good thing to do, and good to be part of.
Yeah, back at home as well, we were able to have the live rehearsals, and then when we were starting to do rehearsals for this production, it was on Zoom, so it was great having to come back then, or be in London, and then having to hear the whole choir together properly instead of just over Zoom.
Yeah, each choir's used to their own sound, like Hilary said, and you're used to how you sound as a unit. So then you have to bring the choirs together, and it's Osnat's job then to polish that unit, and I think it's been great. It's been lovely, beautiful.
Thank you very much for speaking to me today, and wish you the best of luck in your performances tonight.
Well, thank you, Prit, for that wonderful interview with the choir. Prit there, one of our young reporters. And now I'm joined by Judith Palmer, who is the director of the Poetry Society, and Anne-Marie Imafidon, who is the founder and director of the STEMettes. How exciting to have you both here. We're at the end of this now, aren't we? It's come to the Tower of London. How does it feel?
It's great. I mean, it's been so different in every place we've gone to, and that's what's so exciting. You know, it's not the same show. As soon as it's in another town, it's just transformed. It's mapped against a different building, different things come to the fore. Very exciting.
And as I said, of course, this is the end of the journey. We're seeing its final stop. So how has the journey been for you?
It's been a long journey, but it's been very productive. It's been very awe-inspiring, very awesome. And I think we're all very proud across the collaboration of what we've been able to achieve across so many locations, with so many communities, so many choirs, so many young people, so many schools, so many animations, so many poems. So there's been a lot along this journey. It's been really, really productive and really, really valuable, actually.
I mean, you touched on it there, just how deeply you reached and connected with local communities. And of course, part of that was working with local schools. So tell us a little bit more about how they were part of this project.
Well, we knew when we were devising the project, one thing we were absolutely certain about was we wanted to have young people's voices right in the centre of this. And that was the great thing about working with STEMettes. You know, we both, Poetry Society and STEMettes, always work with young people. And so we sent out kind of a big national competition to get young people sending in work. And then we worked in depth in the schools and every one of the places we worked in.
And of course, there weren't just children involved. You also had scientists and poets working alongside them. So tell us more about how they were involved.
Oh, so they were involved in the sessions that we did across schools, and also in some of the learning resources that are free to download that folks can take a look at on the website. But they were there as our role models, as our facilitators, and definitely being able to bring the idea of the universe, STEM, animation, and also the poetry to life. They were all local folks as well, so it was the young people getting to meet people nearby to them who are helping them engage with all of these concepts. But you know, it's been fantastic actually as a collaboration. I think there's been hundreds of folks that have worked across the whole collaboration, right, across more than a year. And so getting to meet lots of new people, getting to pay, right, and involve and employ lots of people has been fantastic.
You know, so like some of the poets we were working with in Hull, for example, and they were saying like this is with lockdown and stuff, it was the first job they'd had in a year and a half, and being able to get them into the schools. But of course there are poets in the show as well, so we've got loads of commissions as well as the music and the visuals. There's words that weave in and out as well through a whole range of poets from across the UK.
Well, speaking of the show, no spoilers, but what can people look forward to this evening?
Excitement, 13.8 billion years from the Big Bang to today. As Judith said, lots of poems even, and poetry, and lots of STEM animations. So we've got some scratch animations that folks should look out for. So that and lights, lots of lights.
Shiny, shiny light and happiness. That's what we want. People and just be blown away by exciting colours and music. But the thing is, it's like being standing here together and watching it together, or whether you're at home, that sense of all together watching something is great, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, spectacular is not the word. Before I let you go, I just want to ask you a little bit about what the experience of the research and development programme was like, because obviously this was very unique. It was a very unique process that led to these.
It was incredible. Unique, I think, is definitely the word. It was incredibly open, and of course this is with a very open brief. It was a very open and very diverse actually set of inputs. It's very regular, very intensive, I should say, as well, over a couple of weeks, like really, really full on. I think it was Mondays or Tuesdays, and Nara Rogers to Maggie Adrian-Pocock, lots and lots of folks. And it was funded, which I think is the other thing that was amazing. So it was really good invested time actually into R&D. So really, really enjoyed it.
And it was all during lockdown. We never met each other. We had to devise the whole thing remotely, never having met each other in person. And so part of the R&D was just like having ideas and then going, yeah, not that one, not that one, not that one. But this is what it finally turned into.
Fantastic. Well, I am so glad to hear it. And you did just hear a little bit there about the R&D process, which was absolutely incredible, one of a kind, a unique 6 months where the team spent time building the incredible collaborations and projects that we have seen and that we will be watching tonight. So let's take a closer look.
We will enter our shared imaginary world.
Any act of cultural creation never has just one person or one story behind it.
Creativity is at the heart of any new world we seek to build.
Is it possible to bring everyone together?
Conversation is a vital feature when trying to imagine different futures.
It can only have positive effects on society.
If we're truly to solve world problems, we need the two, the arts and sciences, to work together.
There is no planet B.
What can we do to envision and ensure a more united and inclusive world for ourselves and for others?
It's through the power of technology and social media networks and building communities we can find unity in a divided world.
I kept hearing again and again that I had to make a choice between art and science.
If you can somehow harness that spirit, build that sense of community, you'll get a strong, loyal following.
The danger is that we limit ourselves and each other.
The alternative story is there for us to write together. So let us rise above the chorus of our age and dare to sing a different song.
Well, that was the very beginning of the process back in 2021. And now, here we are at the Tower of London to watch About Us, one of the first commissions from UNBOXED Creativity in the UK. Now, we are less than 5 minutes away from showtime, so stay exactly where you are. I know many of you on the live stream have just joined us. And if you have, here's a quick reminder about the show you're about to see. A cutting-edge mix of light projection, animation, poetry, coding, music, all projected onto the Tower of London. Very shortly, we'll be taking a thrilling ride through 13.8 billion years of history. We're going to be diving through the universe, all alongside an original score by the award-winning composer Nitin Sawhney, which is performed by local choirs. They're up on the ramparts of the tower, and of course words drawn from a UK-wide schools poetry and coding competition. Now, before we get started, I must warn you, there are flashing lights. This is a projected show. There will be flashing lights all the way through. But that is what we're here for. It is set to be an incredible evening. As you can see, the crowd has gathered. There is quite literally magic in the air, and I cannot wait to hand you over to About Us.
About Us will probably begin in 2 minutes.
But then again, as Einstein said, the distinction between past, present and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. So how certain can we be? Anyway, the show is hopefully about to begin. And in the beginning, friends, there was nothing. Friends, in the beginning, there wasn't even nothing. Shortly after the beginning, it is generally agreed there was light. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, if that's even possible. Here's a story, but it isn't a story about the universe or science or history. It's a story about us and how we came to be here. It's a story about all of us. It's our origin story. Take a look at the people around you. That guy in the hat. The girl looking at her phone. That couple over there. We are all related. We came from the same place. And now we are here. But not for long. Not forever. You see, we are little more than temporary constellations of atoms and molecules born in the Big Bang, scattered across the universe, and gathered together for a brief but magical moment. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the oxygen in our lungs were all forged in the hearts of long-dead stars. We are not in the universe. We are the universe.
Can you hear the jangling of the universe as it walks along, the silver coins of the stars in its back pocket, alloy of atoms forged in the fierce dark denominations of night? And next to them were dust and lint, antimatter, shrapnel, gravel where things used to be, towns that never amassed into much, ports and airports to get elsewhere through, loose change from the stars' transactions. But nothing is wasted, only remade by wax moon fingernails that scrape the bobbled fabric of space and time and gather us, ball us up. You'll see, we're in not yetness, waiting for gravity. We travel light. We're light that's yet to travel. So stop, look up, gaze at the sky that's framed by towers, gleaming slates, the hands we hold to steady each other on this ground, and hear the heart's potential energy when, spinning, dizzy, we glimpse what we are, reflected in a distant star.
Our bodies are stomping grounds for invisible life, flocks and herds of bustling strangers, working with us, working against us, life that Airbnbs with us, every tear a dewdrop of pond life. It lies on our skin, an invisible ochre. We palm it off on everything we touch. And there is no border, there is no boundary between me and this flesh mob. This silent choir, I am, we are.
In tree, the primal ocean survives. Sap, lymph, blood. The wood's tireless breath. Below the foliage, my skin is dissolving. I think I never walked before. I never breathed before. Breathing did not exist like this.
yn dawel, yn ddiwyd, y bydd fflamau cynnes yn wesu heinau o'r ew I ddŵr dwfn y môr.
I will remain when the star cools off and mimics the shades of long-gone moons.
The grass is soft and tickles my back.
A moth puttered against the window until I snatched it in my childish fist like a jewel in a paperweight.
I did not feel your lonely heartbeat.
This funky network was a prehistoric blast. It was created here before humans.
What are we? If just split a grain of sand on a cosmic beach.
The sun smiles upon its precious earth.
I like you very much. I like that you're a Leo, which makes you fixed fire.
Orion was my best friend and Little Bear was my pet.
Whilst I am caught, mesmerised.
Galactic spirals pull and push, why spin both ways around.
A language laughed and cried and lived.
Voyager arrives in junk mail with a carefully placed advert about all the best on Earth. 4.5 billion emails from Earth.
I felt the first traces of heat caress my face as they were generated in the protocell's heart.
Water held in interstellar clouds far from this planet.
Our story begins on a marbled space rock. Ancient wounds and pockmarks litter its surface, a thick rippling velvet punctuated by tea lights shining on unfathomable worlds.
Imagined I was slicing through light years of darkness, or maybe just a few inches of silk.
I'll be sad it's over, but happy I watched every bit of it. I'll be happy I saw you.
Instead, it rustled under my collapsed steeple, like unfolding origami.
Eistedwn yng nghynestrwydd ein tân agored, yn hudo i'n hangen I fyw am heddiw.
Thousands of grammars coalesce as maps for telling the truth turn to branches, cling to extinction's edge. And each language a cosmology, and each a universe of worlds. In our kitchens, mouths feed, from refrigerators humming, with who buys what for the city. How we continue to catch and haul from peasants' earth. Indigenous rainforests funneled into factories, sweatshops, mines. We address our meals and imagine, attempt, a tracing back of lifelines, a return of vitality to places gouged, to growing branches of language, an earth-carrying hearth of cooling truths. How to secure survival, continuance of breathing, the world a new cartography.
how this oak tree's roots are sweet with phosphorus, skimmed from a supernova only all of time ago. Were there enough, networks of rhizomes would glow phosphorescent in the soil. We're there too, underground, lit not by glowing roots, but a vast jungle of fibre optics, dazzle of data. From star to tree, thought to thumb to bright screen, subterranean cable, humming street cabinet exchange. Our medium is light, packets dissembled and remade on bright screens. Language no more massive than moonlight on your cheek. When we say hello, thank you, I love you, we say it as light moving thought quick through the underworld. Dinosaurs and fossils, flora never gazed upon, 50 billion organisms in a handful of earth, our ancestors reconfigured. When we say goodnight, from my dark room to yours, yours to mine, we speak as stars do, with light, 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 light.
Wow. Well, I have to say, this was absolutely incredible. I am so lucky to have been involved from the very beginning of this. I was on the judging panel for Unboxed, and it has been so incredible to be here and see it come to life. You know, I saw this when it was just a PowerPoint presentation, so to be here to see it projected onto the Tower of London, I actually feel really emotional, and I think that's a feeling shared by everybody in the crowd. I've grabbed some people. Tell me a little bit about who you are and how you found this evening.
Hi, my name is Pa. I'm basically a graduate student at the LSE. We both are. Yeah, we just graduated recently. Yeah, and well, we know about the show from Instagram, so like we just walk around and came. Yeah, it's really nice. So it's nice to see how humans are created from the world created from the very beginning until the end. It was really interesting how they made the reversal as well. So it was great.
It's a lovely show about togetherness. How did you find it?
Yeah.
I think it's quite fascinating. I was thinking what is the cost of our modern life? All these lights are colors, so necessary, but we have lost to have it. Yeah.
And one last quick question. Would you recommend it?
Yes, totally. Yeah, totally. And I also learned that I think they're going to move the location to somewhere else. So I'm just going to keep following them. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming along tonight.
Thank you.
And of course, thank you everybody at home watching around the world. Thank you for joining us tonight for this very special performance of About Us live at the Tower of London. Now, there are 4 more performances left this evening, and there are more tomorrow night before it closes. So if you are in London, if you can get to London, get down here, because it is absolutely spectacular in person. Honestly, words cannot describe it. But of course, if you could only join us online, then I hope you enjoyed tonight's very special performance, streamed just for you at home. Of course, About Us was one of the 10 commissions in Unboxed creativity in the UK, and sadly now most of them are either completed or in their final stages, but luckily for you, lots of them can still be experienced digitally online. Unboxed has a absolutely incredible legacy, so go check it out online. You can go to unboxed2022.uk to find out more about the projects and hopefully experience a few more of them. But really, there is not much left to say. This show really says it all. It's a wonderful piece about togetherness. It's about who we are and our place in the universe. So from here, the Tower of London, from me, Elo Sillywood, from About Us and from Unboxed, thank you for joining us and good night.